So let's block first the rib cage. That's how I like to start my stereometric form, right? Rib cage, and we think of it as an oval, right? An egg. And then we cut the section here to show the three-dimensionality, and I'm gonna cut the base of the neck. Here I'm gonna connect the neck to the head, blocking the head here like this, right? Now I start thinking about proportions. The head is about, actually the rib cage is about 1.5 times the head. So let's see, or a little bit more than that, right? A little bit more than that. So that's good enough, right? I'm gonna cut down the lower part to make it a little bit more flat. And now I have this alignment. See that here? Head, rib cage, and the pelvis. Now I'm blocking the pelvis. The pelvis is the size, about the size in height of the height of one head. So I block this here. Eyeball it first, then I measure. I like to eyeball it first because that way it's a way to develop the sense of proportion, right? So now we have head, right, a rib cage, and the pelvis, like this, right? The pelvis here, I'm gonna block in iliac spine. It's gonna be about a quarter of the total height of the pelvis down here, the upper quarter here, and then the pubic bone, which is going to be about at the lower quarter. Spine, I can add the spine quickly just to make sure that we are attaching the rib cage properly to the pelvis, and the joints are going to be about here, right? The sides of the pelvis, about here. And now let's say I can attach the thigh, the leg. So this thigh will overlap the pelvis. So this is going to be, the thigh is going to be about 2 heads. Let's see if I had 2 heads, 1 and 2, that's good. So you see, first I draw and then I measure when I want to practice my sense of proportion, right? Maybe this leg here is going to be pretty much on the other side, same height. The other leg is gonna come up like this, right? We can make this up, right? You see how we can make all this stuff up like this, right? So about 2 heads here, I take this. It could be a little bit longer, so I can put it here. Of course, if the legs are foreshortened, then, you know, it's not gonna be 2 heads. It's gonna be whatever that is, but let's not get there now. The arms are going to be, well, we can draw here from the jugular fossa, the base of the neck in here. We can draw a line like this, which is the clavicles. And at the end of the clavicles, we can block in here and here the shoulder, right? The length of the upper arm is the same as the length of the rib cage, more or less, from the front view. That looks good, right? This is more or less, right? Because we can have individual variation, right? Here, right? And then we can also now think of this as a foreshortened form, right? The upper arm here, and the hand is going to be here, right? And now this forearm is not foreshortened, so I had to maintain the proportional relationships of the forearm with the upper arm, and the forearm is slightly shorter than the upper arm, so I eyeball it, and then it's slightly shorter, so that's good. So I'll leave it like that, right? So here now we're gonna have the hand coming out like this, right? And now I can block in this leg, this leg. The lower leg is going to be slightly shorter than the thigh. So let's see if I have done a good job slightly shorter. Okay, that's good. It stops here. And then in here, I can block in the foot, right? Like that. So that's how you would sketch in something with using the stereometric rendering, right? The stereometric method. And you can imagine a pose very quickly, very quickly. Once you have decided the pose, you like this pose, then you can get the model out and then ask the model to pose more or less like this. And then you draw the model more in detail. Or you can simply start drawing your pose using the model this way. Just do a quick job, or as an exercise to practice the stereometric rendering of the figure.